I've always had an interest in tractors, and for some reason or another, it seemed that the Farmall came out to be my favorite. And well, when I bought it, I had been looking around for a tractor of that size for a while, and since it's a relatively small tractor, economical to run, and well, frankly, good to play with too. And since that time, I've done some repair work on it. Probably the biggest thing that I did was to overhaul the engine, and this would have been back in 1975. At that time, I completely rebuilt the engine, and that engine has sleeves in it, which means that it can be repaired, those can be replaced, and the pistons, rings, and everything can be new, and really, you have just about a new engine at that point. At the time that I rebuilt the engine, I went through it, put in new rod bearings, main bearings, even going into the back, into the clutch, putting in a new throwout bearing, and it's been running real well since that time. In fact, it still doesn't use any oil, starts well, runs well, and certainly I feel good about it. Hello, my name is Marvin, and I'm driving actually two tractors. One is a Farmall C and the other one is a Farmall 460. My 460, of course, is a bigger tractor, and I always refer to that as my new tractor because that was built in 1959. It's got features that the C does not have, and of course that's due to progress in engineering, progress also in, well, let's say, some of the improvements that have been made over the time, not just in engineering, but metals, design, and so on. What's good about the C is that it had live hydraulic system on it, and this could operate different things. For instance, the 6-foot rotary mower. Hydraulics really came into their own, we might say, at that period of time, and the reason being is that so much was done with hydraulics during World War II, with airplanes, tanks, and so on. That knowledge, experience then transferred into the agricultural area, and it soon became more popular on tractors. And the C now has the live hydraulic, and I think part of it is because of World War II. And does war bring good things? Usually not. Usually a lot of destruction, sorrow, sadness, pain, and whatever. But I think that was one of the good things that came out of the war, some of the advances that were made. Probably you noticed in the close-up pictures of the C, there are some yellowish spots shining through. And the reason being is that there was a year or two when Farmall actually had the audacity to paint some of their tractors an off yellow type color. And evidently this tractor was one of them. So what am I going to do with this tractor? It was already painted red when I bought it. It has not been completely painted since then. I plan to do that. And I hope to get rid of the yellow spots underneath, and it will be all red at last. As far as the 460 is concerned, I have no immediate plans to change that. I have done some sanding and painting on that, and to a great extent it looks almost like a new tractor. In fact, many people will say, "What year is that tractor? It looks so good." But again, both tractors run well, and for me, they're certainly a part of my life, an important part. One of the things that I found out working on tractors, and I experienced this with sons and grandsons too, is that it can be kind of a shared interest in the family. Certainly it gives them some hand-on experience and maybe the chance just to get their hands a little bit greasy and find some satisfaction too in what they're doing. I really feel this is something too that can be carried through into, well, the younger generation now and future generations too. One of the reasons being is that these old tractors just kind of never die. They're around. And what's remarkable is that parts are available for them too. In fact, there are a number of places where you can purchase just about any part for the C, the 1948 model, and even older than that. But for me, the tractors have always been kind of important. It kind of, what should we say, maybe add some stability. For instance, in our lifetime, during our married life, and this tractor, the 460, of course, was bought in 2000. The C purchased much earlier than that. But it added some continuity to life to a certain extent. And I say that because we moved a number of times during our married life, and the C went with us. And now, since the year 2000, the 460 has gone with us. And it just brings something that's maybe put some permanency in so many things. We can move from place to place, but we hang on to certain things. And for me, it's been my tractors as one of the things that's held, given life continuity, I would say. And I think it's also something that's maybe just given me a little bit of a farmer makeup as far as my family is concerned, taking that into consideration, that I had that interest. It maybe identified myself for them with the land, with the soil, for that matter with our country too, thinking about the tractors being built in this country, not in some other country. And so it brings in an emotional bond. I think of that, and once I said, when I am gone, why don't you bury me with my tractor? Not the other one, but with the C, because it's smaller. And my one daughter said, no, you can't do that, because I want that tractor. And so it's kind of a reflection of what this has been in the family. It's just kind of something that has tied us together. And it's interesting to see other members of the family drive the tractors and to see that my interest in them has been shared so that they have an interest in them too. And again, I hope that, as I pass on, which again, I'm getting up in years, I can drive those tractors to the end. When I lose my driver's license, by the way, I'm not aware that they'll take my tractor driver's license from me. So I'll have that as long as I'm able to drive them, and I will. And I think the interest that I've shown in them, and I believe the interest that I've created for my family, that they'll carry that on in the future as well. And so it's always a joy for me to get on one of my tractors and know that here's something that's been a part of my life for a long time. And as far as I know, it will be for the years ahead.